gloves won't soon disappear from the NHL side of the equation, but maybe, just maybe, with the NFL draft finally wrapping up in Wisconsin, perhaps Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary can take a bit of a break from the fracas, the controversy there at Lambeau, stemming primarily from the 144th overall pick in said draft. Goodness gracious. Bradford Bruns, how's it going, everybody? We are back with you only on the 101 ESPN YouTube channel, plus 101ESPN.com. Out there in the audience, we fully understand if, like me, you're still struggling to catch your breath. That was a momentous outcome downtown just a little while ago at Enterprise Center as the St. Louis Blues knocked off the Winnipeg Jets in a rout for the second straight game, pulling even in their Western Conference first-round series. Now knotted at 2 games apiece, setting the table for game number 5 on 101 ESPN on Wednesday night. So definitely tomorrow morning, bright and early, check out TMA, check out all of the subsequent programs to get you up to speed on what has become an increasingly intriguing matchup there on the ice. Right here, right now, though, you know that we have to be able to catch you up on the waning stages of the NFL Draft 2025 installment, concluded on Saturday. As a matter of fact, storylines abound, no question about it, on the local front, and then some fascinating moving and shaking, especially with the number 2 overall pick. You had Jacksonville leaping up to trade for, in an ever bold move, and a strategic one at that, Travis Hunter. So he is going to be in South FLA, as was expected as well. Tennessee goes in the direction of another would-be franchise quarterback, Cam Ward, taken number 1 overall, as the Titans try to turn the page from that ill-advised Will Levis era. But speaking of quarterbacks, the number 1 storyline, without question, emanating from the entire weekend, it boils down to what happened on day 3 of the draft, specifically pick number 144. The Cleveland Browns at last decided to take a flyer. It's so odd to even say that, given so much of the buzz surrounding this individual in the preceding weeks and months. But finally, Shedeur Sanders of the University of Colorado, long a lightning rod for controversy in a number of different respects. He comes off of the board. So not only did Cleveland select another QB, Dylan Gabriel, previously of Oregon, in the 3rd round, doubling down in a manner of speaking and just loading up that QB room. You have a cast of journeymen along with a couple of youngsters now, letting them fight it out, presumably. But how did we get to this point, really? How did we get to this point on the College Football Connection and in the landscape altogether? We understand that the last name itself, Sanders, given the reputation, given the prime time, the charisma, all of the different factors associated with Shedeur's father, Dion, certainly playing into the perception. Perception became reality, though. I can safely say that never in the history of the NFL Draft, and the disagreements on TV, on radio, clearly indicate as much. There has never been such controversy and so much criticism, warranted or not, to be emerging from a 5th round, day number 3 pick. You can say what you want about the body of work that was compiled by Sanders, not only at the University of Colorado while in Boulder, but previously at Jackson State. Yes, did he take entirely too many sacks in his final season of collegiate eligibility there? Indeed, he did. Does he possess the rocket of the arm? No, he doesn't. But as far as poise, as far as on-field acumen and decision-making, this is a guy months ago, weeks ago, as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, he was trailing, he was nipping at the heels of one Cam Ward. Did he work out at the Combine? Absolutely not. Did he perhaps miff and or perturb a number of different scouts, talent evaluators, and members of various organizations? That would appear to be the case. But no doubt about it, this sets up as a fascinating potential career journey for Shedeur Sanders. He is not being given by any means whatsoever the keys to the castle here in the Factory of Sadness. He is going to have to earn his way clearly onto the roster, but I can't wait to see now, with all of the additional tentacles surrounding his story, how it's going to play out, if indeed it comes to fruition in Cleveland in the AFC as early as next season. But we would be remiss, obviously, if we didn't dig into more of the Mizzou-centric developments to have come out of Saturday's events. Yesterday, we actually wanted to do so. We wanted to dive in to a greater extent, but some of the events in the other studio down the hallway, namely NBA playoffs, Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets, pulled us away from the scene. But just minutes into round number 7 at the tail end of the draft. Another Missouri Tiger, one you would not have anticipated. I'm just going to say it whatsoever. He went off of the board. I'm not talking about Brady Cook. I'm not talking about Johnny Walker Jr., even Theo Weiss, even Nate Noel, but we will talk about them nonetheless in a couple of minutes here on the CFC. Instead, another member of the Missouri offensive line from the last couple of seasons, Armand Mimbu. If you tuned in to Saturday's presentation on the 101 ESPN YouTube channel and 101ESPN.com, you know that we went in depth on Mimbu as well as Luther Burden III. But in this instance, Marcus Bryant, the big left tackle. That's right. So Mizzou not only has its pillar on the right side selected, number 7 overall, but Bryant goes to the New England Patriots. He's going to have a chance to crack the roster of Mike Vrabel as the Patriots attempt to really reconstitute themselves, in a manner of speaking, in the AFC East to ultimately compete with the likes of Josh Allen, etc. I think it is a wholly surprising move, but when you consider the stature as well of a Bryant, it doesn't necessarily always require that prestigious invite, right, to the scouting combine. Bryant wasn't exactly on the radar of a lot of these NFL organizations, but he is picked. He's going to have to battle it out, no doubt about it, with a number of different undrafted rookie free agents to prove his mettle and ultimately earn his spot there in Foxborough. But good stuff for him, and good stuff as well for some of the aforementioned Tigers who mere minutes after the NFL draft concluded on Saturday night found new professional homes and destinations for themselves too. Let's start with the QB, number 12, Brady Cook, back-to-back 10 victory seasons, double-digit win campaigns for the Tigers, doing so much on and off of the field. He's going to see a very familiar face. Hey, what's up, Armand? I'm back with you, albeit in the Big Apple. So Cook is signed to the quarterback room there for the New York Jets. He'll have a chance to make the roster of the new HC, Aaron Glenn, and let's just say there isn't exactly a surplus of quarterback competition right now in that room. Justin Fields, he's the guy. Of course, you're going to have a number of other veterans competing likewise, but Cook, if he doesn't wiggle his way into that top 3 arrangement for NYJ, would seem to be a surefire bet to be able to qualify for the practice squad as a rookie in the NFL.